Hey guys, it's Aditya again with Inspira Advantage. Thanks so much for joining us on our How to Get into Medical School web series. Today we're going to be talking about the traditional interview format. So you've worked really hard to put your application together and you've finally gotten an interview. First of all, congratulations on this awesome achievement. Your chances of getting into medical school have increased significantly now. But this still doesn't mean that you're a shoo-in yet. If you've gotten to this stage, that means that you've passed the school's thresholds for metrics such as MCAT, GPA, and all the standardized parts of your application. At this stage of the game, what they're more interested in is how you are as a person. What are the human qualities that you bring to the table that'll make you a great physician? This video will focus specifically on the traditional interview format. We'll have another video afterwards talking specifically about the multiple mini interview format, or the MMIs. So traditional interviews are essentially 15 to 30 minute one-on-one conversations with an interviewer. The interviewers are usually physicians that are involved in the school's administration. Sometimes you'll have interviews with senior medical students, since they're also part of the admissions committee. The format is usually very open-ended, as it's meant to be a conversation. The interviewer may have a few questions that they're hoping to get through, but the best interviews flow like conversations, where the questions pop up spontaneously. A very common starting question that they might begin the interview with is, so tell me about yourself. Another one that they could start off with is, so why pick our medical school specifically? These are going to be your most common interview questions, so it's important to prepare good responses for these. And make sure to practice them, but not too much to the point that it sounds like a canned response. You still want to be flowing and natural. I know it sounds counterintuitive for a formal medical school interview, but sometimes I feel the best interviews are when you pretend like you're having coffee with a friend. The reason I say this is because it lowers the stress of the situation and keeps you natural and flowing. Applicants tend to freeze up, and so they don't appear very natural or as charismatic as they usually are. Since the interview format is so open-ended and free-flowing, you really don't know what types of questions they may ask later in the interview. Therefore, to prepare for these interviews, it's important to review your resume and know how to respond to each one of your activities. And for the activities that are more important, try to come up with a few specific key moments and reflections regarding those moments. I'd recommend mapping out about 10 to 15 key moments from your experiences and making sure that you have reflective statements about each of them. And the goal of doing this is that so whenever you're asked the question, you have something that you can pull from the back of your mind. If you have prepared enough experiences, you can almost always answer questions when they ask something like, tell me about a time when, blank. Or if they specifically ask, tell me about this one experience. Tell me about a key memorable event from this one experience. You don't have to know what types of questions they ask, but you will at least have a good primer to some really good responses. This is how it'll play out. You hear a question, and you may not know necessarily how to respond right away, but since you've prepared so many activities and experiences in your head, you're able to pick one. And after you've picked one, you have reflection statements that you've already prepared for that specific moment. And so you can kind of craft together a cohesive response and spontaneously add more to refine it during the interview process. So those are my basic tips for preparing for the traditional interview format. It's counterintuitive, but treat it like coffee with a friend. It'll keep you natural and flowing and lower the stress of the situation. And also, you can't predict the types of questions you can have, but you can definitely prepare answers for any sort of question that may come your way. Prepare your most important experiences by having key moments from each experience and having reflective statements about them. That way, you can respond to any question within the moment. Well, I really hope you enjoyed this video, guys. These are some key basic tips for how to prepare for the interview. Congrats again for getting to this stage. I know it's a stressful moment, but you're almost there. Your chances have increased to get into medical school, but this is the final step before you can finally consider yourself accepted. If you enjoy what you're watching right now, hit subscribe below and be on the lookout for the next video. Thanks so much, guys.